Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel. Hope you are doing great. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please go ahead and subscribe. I have created bunch of playlists to cover various categories of the problems such as breadth first search, depth first search, dynamic programming, and also some of the playlists which will cover the basic data structures and their problems such as trees, graphs, linked list, arrays, and so on. Please check them out. I have uploaded the code for this particular problem to the GitHub repository. You can get the link from the description below the video. Let's jump into today's problem. Counting bits. Given a non-negative integer number num, for every number I in the range 0 is less than or equal to I less than or equal to num, calculate the number of ones in their binary representation and return them as an array. So we are given with a number num, okay, and we will have to have numbers ranging from 0 to number, okay, and the task is we need to return an array where the contents of the array is the number of ones in the binary representation from 0 to number, okay. So for example, 0, right? So binary representation is also 0, so it has 0 ones, right? For example, 1, what is the binary representation of 1? It's 1, so the number of ones in 1 is 1. So for 2, the binary representation is 10, 1 0, right? And the number of ones is 1, so and so on, right? So we are given with a number, like in the example 2, we are given with a number 5, right? And the output is 0 1 1 2 1 2, like that, right? So basically 0 1 1 0 1 1 1 0 0 1 0 1, right? So this is until number 5. 0 is 0 bits, 1 is 1 bit, 1 0 number of ones is 1, 1 1 number of ones is 2, right? Number of ones is 1 in 4, number of ones is 5, sorry 2 in 5, right? So that's what we are required to give us the answer. So given a number, if we want to calculate the number of ones, right, unless you convert the number to a binary representation, there is not a clean way to do it, right? So what we are going to do is we will convert the given number into a binary representation and keep counting a number of ones as part of that. So that is the first approach that we will do. And the second approach, we will see how we will evolve from the first approach, right? So we are going to discuss two different approaches. So one is we convert the binary number, given number into a binary representation and count the ones. And then the second approach is evolution from that, okay. So how are we going to convert a given number into a binary number and try to count number of ones, right? So I have an example. Basically this is just one number, so for every number we need to go through this process. Let's say the number is 5, right? So number is 5, not the input 5 we are talking here, but this is just a number 5. So what we are saying is, if n percentile 2, that is a mod, n mod 2 is equal to 1, right? Then that means the number is not divisible by 2 completely, right? It is divisible by 2 and there is a remainder of 1. So in that case, we increment the count of ones. Initially our count of ones is initialized to 0, and then that is the first step. And the second step, we will divide n is equal to n by 2. So we will replace n by n by 2. So now how much n will be? N will be 2, right? So the count of ones will be 1, right? So for 5, count of ones will be 1 at this point in time. So we will have to do this until n is not equal to 0, so or greater than 0, right? So now n is equal to 2. So as per the first step, that is what we are going to do. N percentile 2 is equal to 1? No. So n percentage 2 is equal to 0, right? 2 percentage 2, right? It is 2 percentage 2 is equal to 0, right? So we don't increment. So now n will be equal to n by 2. What is n by 2? 2 by 2 is 2 by 2, that will be 1, right? So now n is equal to 1. So going back to the first step again, in percentage 2 is equal to 1, yes it is. So now 1 percentage 2 is equal to 1. So count of number of ones, we are incrementing it 2, right? So 1 by 2, right? 1 by 2, which is equal to 0, okay? Because both are them integers, right? 1 and 2 are integers. So integer division results in an integer which is 0, right? So this is not a floating point division, okay? So since now n is equal to 0, we stop right there. So how many number of ones are there in 5? It is 2, right? So that's what is our answer. But this thing that we have to do for every number starting from 0 till num, right? All of the numbers. So this is our first approach, right? So this is our first approach. Let's go ahead and look at the code for this approach, and then we'll come back to the second approach, okay? Okay, let's go jump into the code. What we are saying is we have integer number that we are passed with, and we have declared an array of length n num plus 1, because if the input is 5, the output has 6 elements, right? Because it includes 0 as well. That's why we are declaring an array of length num plus 1. And for I is equal to 0, I is less than num I plus plus, what we are doing is we are putting the count bits for a given number, just like how we did, right? For number 5, we are counting bits, right? So it came as answer 2. So like that, we have a count bits function which will give us the number of bits for a given number, right? So that we are putting in A, and finally we are returning the array A, right? So that's how we are doing simply. So how count of bits is doing? So while int count is equal to 0, this is a count of number of ones. While number is greater than 0, if num mod 2 is equal to 1, we are incrementing the count, otherwise we don't do anything. So if num mod 2 is 1, there we increment the count. After that, we divide the number n is equal to n by 2. So just similar to what we did, right? Basically n mod 2 is equal to 1, then increment, otherwise, and do n is equal to n percentile n by 2. If n mod 2 is equal to 0, then we don't increment, right? So that's the same thing logic that we are using. So we are doing this whole process until the given number is greater than 0, right? So now with that count bits, we are able to count the number of bits for a given number, right? And the answer will be stored in the array. What is the answer array? So that answer array we are going to return. So we are starting from 0 and going till number less than or equal to number, just like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So the input is 5, but there are 6 elements, right? So that's the reason why we are going from 0 till that is equal to the num, right? So that's how it will be. So what is the time complexity and space complexity for this? Time, right, and space. What is the time complexity? So here we are going from 0 to number. That means, let's say if the number is equal to n, just for the sake of the time complexity and space complexity. So if the number is n, we are going through the for loop n, right? And this count bits, how much of the count bit, how many times this while loop will be executing. So that will be depending on the size of the basically binary number. So what is the number in the binary representation? That many times we will be doing the while loop, right? So that means n is a number into size of, what we will call is the size of number in binary, size of n in binary, right? So that's what is our time complexity, right? Which we don't know, right? So size of n in binary we don't know yet, so that's why we kept it as it is. So for when the number is 2, it just has 2 things. When the number is 3, it has two times. When number is 10, we need to go through 4 times. So depending on the given number, the size of the binary varies, right? So that's why the time complexity is order of n into size of the n in binary representation, right? And what is the space complexity? Are we using an extra space here? Yes, the extra space that we are using is the return array, right? So other than that, we are not using much extra space. So this is the only thing that we are using since it is required for us to return the answer, right? So that's why, since the number is, we are saying it's n, so the space complexity will be also equal to order of n, right? So the time complexity is order of n into size of the n in binary, and space complexity is order of n. So now this is the first approach. So we will look at the second approach now. So in the first approach, we took a number and converted into binary and then try to calculate the number of ones in the binary representation, right? So now, so do we have to do this whole representation for every single thing is a question, right? So is there a logic that we can come up with by just looking at the number or something like that, right? So that's what we are going to look into. So in the first approach, we took a number and converted into binary and got the number of ones. So in the second approach, we are not going to see that way, right? So let's say we observe the first few binary numbers and the number of ones in the representation. Okay, so I have on the first column, basically I have the decimal number, and the second column I have the binary representation, and the third column I have number of ones. Okay, for 0 the representation is 0 0 and we have 0 number of ones, and for 1 I am calling it as 0 1 and the number of ones is 1. For 2 1 0 and the number of ones is 1. For 3 1 1 is the binary representation and number of ones is 2. Similarly for 7 the number of the representation is 1 1 1 and the number of ones are 3, right? So basically if you look on the third column, right, 0 1 1 2 1 2 2 3 1 2 2. So that is what we have been coming up with the number of ones. Is there a thing that we can correlate, right? So the number of ones or the number of digits for 0 and 1 in their representation. So you can actually take this 0 off, right? So that can be. So for the first two numbers here, right, single digit in binary, right? So from here 2 digits in binary, right? And from here it will be 3 digits in binary, right? And from here it will be 4 digits in binary, right? So likewise if we segregate basically, right? So there are single digits in binary and there are 2 digits binary and 3 digit binary and so on, right? So is there a way that we can come up with by using the single digit to double digit or double digit to 3 digits and 3 digits to 4 digits? Is there any logic that we can come up with is the question, right? So first we started, it is 0 1, right? And then it is 1 2 and then 1 2 2 3. So if we write it down like this, right, so it will be 0 1 for the single digit, right, and 1 2 for the 2 digits, and then for 3 digits it's 1 2 2 3, right? And for 4 digits I don't have the entire list here, right? So for example for 11 it will be 1 0 1 1, right? So that will be 3, right? So basically it will be 3. So it will go on like that, right? So we see a pattern that is repeating, right? So we are going to employ that pattern in our approach 2 algorithm, right? So we are discovering a pattern from the number of single digits to 2 digits to 3 digits, 4 digits and so on, right? So the number of possible digits for a given number, right? So for example integer, if we assume 32-bit integers, right, let's say 32-bit integers, right, for them how many number of positions will be there? Just like 2 digits, right? So in that 32 digits will be there, right, because it's a 32-bit integer. So we call it as bit just to represent 1 and 0. So in 32-bit integer there are 32 digits in the binary representation, right? In binary representation, right? So that is how we can come up with some of the patterns that we are going to utilize as part of the approach 2. So now that we have discovered a pattern, how to correlate the pattern back to from single digit to two digits and three digits and so on, right? So the logic that we are going to employ here is, so if the number is even and if the number is odd, right? So that is the primary logic that we are going to see. So the number of digits are getting converted from 1 to 2, it is getting converted at even number, and 2 to 3 it is getting converted at another even number, and from 3 to 4 that is also at another even number, 4 to 5 it will be at 16 basically, right? So 16 will be 1 0 0 0, right? So this will be 16, right? This will be 1, right? So 5 digits starting from here, right? So when you look at it, right, for every digit when it is getting converted into +1, right? So single digit, two digits, 3 digits, 4 digits, 5 digits and so on. So when you do that, it is always how many number of ones are there in the previous number. Here it is 3 numbers are there, but as soon as it becomes 8, it drops down to 1. So in 15, for example, let me go and write. So this is 15, right? But as soon as it goes to 16, it gets converted back to 1 digit, right? So this is one pattern that we can discover. So every time the number of digits is increasing, right, the number of 1 digits will fall down back to 1, right? So that means for an even number which is divisible by 2 power, right, sum of the 2 power, whatever the sum 2 power, right? So this will be a 2 power 1, this will be a 2 power 2, 2 power 3, 2 power 4, so on, right? In those cases, the number of single digits, number of 1 digits are 1, right? So that is how we are going to pursue for the even numbers. But is that just enough? Apart from these even numbers, right, 2, 4, 8, 16, there are more even numbers. What if it is 6? What if it is 10? What if it is 12? What is it 14, right? So there is 12, there is 14. These are all numbers are available, right? So basically what we are going to do is we have to update our algorithm or the approach little bit more than whatever we have discovered so far. So now going on with the even and odd again, right? So we will still look into the even and odd. So whatever the number that we looked, it's not sufficient yet. So let's go little bit more into it. So when it is 6, it is 2. When it is 8, it is 1, right? So for this, when the digits is 8, it is same 1. When digit 4, it is 1, right? So 8 by 2 is 4 is 1. 4 by 2 is 2, it is 1, right? Let's go if the same logic applies for even numbers. So for 10 by 2 is 5, it is 2. What is 5? It is 2, yes. For 6 by 2 is 3, for 6 it is 2, by 2 is 3, it is 2, right? So likewise. So for even numbers, the logic satisfies. So if you have a number and if you divide by 2, whatever the number that you get. So for example, n is there, which has x ones, okay, x number of ones in binary, right? So 2n will also have same x number of ones, right? X number of ones in binary. So that's the approach. So if, for example, n is 2, 2 has 1 in the binary representation. 2 into 2 is 4. 4 also has 1, right? 4 into 2, 8 also has 1. 8 into 2, 16 also has 1. So if it is an even number, right, we can simply take what was the thing at n by 2 location. If I am at 8, what was it for 4? We just put whatever it is there for 8 location also. And the same logic applies for even 6 also. 6 by 2, 3. Whatever it is 3, 2, just put into the location of 6 also, right? That is what is the logic that we are going to see for even numbers. But what is for odd numbers, right? What is for odd numbers? Simply, we will add 1 to the odd numbers. So, when 7 is odd number, right? 7 is odd number. 7 by 2, it is an integer division, not a floating point division. 7.2 is a 3. So, whatever it is there for 3, it is 2. Add a 1 to it and put it here, right? So, likewise, for 11, what is 11 by 2 is 5. What is 5? 2 plus 1, 3, likewise. So, basically, when it is even number, you just divide it by 2 and get whatever the number of ones are there and put directly in there. But when it is odd number, whatever the number of ones are there, add 1 to it and put in a result in the particular position in the array, right? So, that's how the simple logic that we are going to use. But we need a seed. So, if you want to do something, right, we need a seed, right? So, starting from 0, 1, 2, we will take these 3 as the seed numbers. So, 0, 1 and 2 as a seed number. So, that means what it is 0, 1, 1. These will be our primary numbers that we will see, and then we will go from there to build upon other numbers. So, our seed is 0, 1 and 1 for the first 3 numbers, 0, 1 and 2, and then from then on we will build further for all the numbers until given number. So, let us go ahead and jump into the code. So, the code is, let me open this. So, we do not need this, we have already gone through that. So, now array int num plus 1, if this is same, basically we need from 0 to num plus 1, right. So, that is the array length. So, if num is greater than 0, we are initializing array of 0 is equal to 0. So, this is basically our seed, I said, right. So, 0, 1 and 2 we are seeding first. So, if the number is still greater than 2, we start from 3 because we have already done with 0, 1 and 2, right. So, now I is equal to 3, I is less than num I plus plus. Now, if I percentage I mod 2 is equal to 0, then array of I is equal to array of I by 2. Whatever we are there with the I by 2, we are putting into the array of I. Otherwise, if the number is odd number, we are adding a 1 to whatever it is there in the I by 2 location, right. So, this is what the logic that we have developed, right. So, when if your number is a even number, you just take what is the division by 2, whatever the number that is available, the number of ones you put it there. If it is an odd number, add 1 to it and then put whatever there in the division by 2 number. So, this is how we are able to produce the number of ones in a given given number range from starting from 0 to number. So, that is how we are doing. So, let us look at the time complexity and space complexity. So, time and space. So, space there will not be any change, right, because we still have to return that number. So, space I would say order of n, because n I am saying the number of the number given, right. So, 0 to num plus 1. So, it will be literally order of n plus 1, but since we are going to remove the constants from the number, it will be order of n. So, what is the time complexity? So, we are going through the entire set of numbers but one time, right. So, there is no calculation of count number of 1 bits or whatsoever, right, in this particular case, just like we have in the approach 1. So, now for this case, we are just going through the number starting from 0 to num. So, the time complexity will be similar to order of n plus 1. Since we are going to remove the constants from the big O notation, it will be order of n. So, the time complexity is also order of n and space complexity is also order of n for this particular problem. If you have any further questions, please post them in the comment section below this video. I will get back to you as soon as I can. I have posted the code to the GitHub repository in two languages, C# and Java. You can find the link in the description below this video. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please go ahead and subscribe, and also share among your friends as much as you can. Please click on the bell icon so that you will be notified about my future videos. Thank you for watching. I will be back with another video very soon. Till then, stay safe and goodbye.